Are you a fan of Halloween, but not of horror games? If so, then I have a great list of a wide variety of games to play during spooky season, but they are not necessarily horror games. They mostly just give off spooky vibes in various ways. Also, for any physical collectors out there, every game in today's list does have a physical version, at least for the Switch. Some of them for other consoles as well. I just don't want to guarantee that because I own them all for Switch. Starting with Dungeon Munchies, which is a huge disappointment in my opinion. That being said, I know some people would enjoy it at least. The art style is great and gives off very spooky vibes. Your goal is to hunt down monsters and cook them into your dinner. You have woken up from a recent case of death and you find yourself in a bizarre facility. With the help of an undead necro chef named Simmer, you will stay safe, get fed, and find a way out of this crazy place. The gameplay is a basic platformer with very floaty, clunky combat. The controls are a bit weird. You can control perfectly normal with the D-pad, but if you want to aim and change your direction at all, you have to use the analog stick. The dialogue is funnier than I remember. The combat, it's a bit clunky like I said, but other than that, this is a fun little spooky game all about making gross food from whatever you find inside all of the monsters. Blasphemous 2 is a great game for anyone who enjoys constant, frustrating pain. You play as the penitent one, who awakens in a perilous new world filled with mysteries and secrets to discover. This plays as well as the first one, if not better, for anyone who has played that. The art is as fantastic and disgusting as the original, and definitely gives it a very spooky vibe. Especially when it comes to the bosses. The music is hauntingly beautiful. The exploration is by far my favorite part of this game. I may have got a bit stuck at the final boss, but I sure did explore almost the entire map, and had a blast doing so. I will probably go back to it and attempt to beat the boss again one day, when I'm in the mood to be stressed out. This one is a great choice for any Metroidvania fan looking for something a little creepy and painful this spooky season. Speaking of pain, Ender Lilies Quietus of the Nights is another fantastic, difficult Metroidvania with beautiful art and spooky vibes. You play as Lily, a young girl who purifies corrupted knights to fight for her in a ruined kingdom. It is not a survival game, but rather a challenging Souls-like experience with a focus on exploration, combat, and a dark, atmospheric story. Players collect and equip spirits of defeated knights to gain new abilities and customize their playstyle. With no penalty for death, this one mainly gets its difficulty from certain bosses, but thankfully, you can usually go level up and upgrade stuff until it makes most bosses at least possible. The gameplay is extremely smooth and just feels great to play. The exploration is extremely addicting and usually not too frustrating. Death Road to Canada is a randomly generated road trip simulator. You control and manage a car full of jerks as they explore cities, recruit weird people, argue with each other, and face gigantic swarms of slow zombies. Death Road is built for replay value. Everything is randomized. Locations, events, survivor appearances, and personalities. There is a different story every time you play, set in a world that doesn't take itself too seriously. Up to 500 zombies can hunt you down at any time. Fight them, squirm past, or run. Use the character creator to put yourself, friends, and family in the game. Find special and rare events, weapons, and characters with strange abilities. Make tough choices in interactive fiction events. Get different options and results based on party member traits. You even get to teach a dog to drive, and you get to tell people to cool it. What could be more spooky than zombies anyway? This is the perfect roguelike for the Halloween season. Hellmutt Badass from Hell is a fast-paced bullet-storm dungeon crawler that cranks the nonsense up to 11 and puts you right in the thick of it. You can go to the shop and spend all your monies and soulstones on items and weapons. While at the shop, you can also play a Space Invaders-like clone minigame thingamajig where you can earn basically an endless amount of soulstones and gold. Every level also has an Eye of Kara, where you can gain upgrades and more mutations to help you get through the insanely difficult gameplay. My only complaint is that it doesn't have a dodge roll button similar to Enter the Gungeon. Other than that, this game is a fantastic bullet hell game for the Halloween season. All of the enemies give off constant spooky vibes along with the music as well. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a game by Koji Igarashi, who has worked on many Castlevania games until he unfortunately left Konami. This game is basically a spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Even in its broken Day 1 state that released on Switch originally, it was still an incredible game to me. I had a blast even before they fixed the frame rate and all the other issues with this one. Players control Miriam, an orphan cursed with a crystallizing body, as she explores a demon-infested castle to defeat the summoner, Jebel, or Gabel, however they pronounce it, and save humanity. The game features exploration-focused, side-scrolling platforming with RPG and crafting elements. I highly recommend it for any fan of the original Castlevania Symphony of the Night or any of the Metroidvanias in that style. In Dead Cells, players control a failed alchemic experiment, The Prisoner. To escape a cursed island, the game features fast-paced, challenging combat, permadeath, and a procedurally generated world that changes with each run, offering a mix of exploration, combat, and character progression through permanent upgrades and unlockable skills. The original release of the game isn't all that spooky. However, they have updated it multiple times with both paid and free DLC, one of which is Castlevania themed, so that alone makes this a decent Halloween pickup. It's always fun to play anything Castlevania themed, and this is one of the best roguelikes ever made. The gameplay is as smooth and quick as it gets. I'm extremely rusty, but I felt like a badass back when I was good at this game. Scoutfold Shrouded in Sanity and Scoutfold Usurper is a double pack of two very different spooky games. The double pack features survival horror and action adventure gameplay with a focus on intense combat and exploration. Usurper plays more like a traditional Castlevania game and introduces a new guard system that rewards precise timing, while Shrouded in Insanity plays like a top-down action-adventure survival horror game set in an alternate history, 1897, Britannia. They are both a ton of fun and offer a completely different gameplay. They are extremely challenging, so be prepared for that. They strongly fit the Halloween vibe though. Very dark, bloody, and spooky throughout both games. Luigi's Mansion 3 is just more of Luigi's Mansion, but even better, and this time with Gooigi. This game is an incredible masterpiece, and I can finally see what all the praise was about. I just beat it recently and just couldn't get over the amount of detail in every little thing. Even something as simple as the L on Luigi's hat having visible stitching marks. The gameplay is more of the same, great puzzle gameplay that most people enjoy and I tend to get frustrated at. This is probably the most Halloween-like game in today's video. Everything about it screams spooky, from sucking up ghosts to the visuals and music. I typically can't stand puzzle games or other games that play similar to this one, but these are an exception. I really wish movement was fast and controls were a little better, but that's just my old man brain having trouble getting used to it. If you are a fan of Mario games or spooky times, go play this one immediately. Stay is an indie puzzle adventure game where the player communicates with a kidnapped man named Quinn through a computer to help him escape. The game is unique because it runs in real time, meaning time continues to pass for Quinn even when the player is away from their PC, creating a sense of urgency. The player's choices and the timelines of their responses directly impact Quinn's fate. This is a very unique one and the closest to an actual horror game in this list. If you don't play all the way through it in a reasonable amount of real-world time, your guy will be dead next time you start it up, which actually happened to me, so I will have to start the chapter over again one day. It is supposed to be pretty short, so it shouldn't be difficult to beat it before he dies. I just get distracted easy and probably got addicted to an RPG or something. It is very spooky in the way it tells its story, and you could probably play the entire thing in one day. It would be a great way to spend a day celebrating spooky season. Witchwood is a crafting adventure set in an expressive land of gothic fables and fairy tales. As the mysterious old witch of the woods, you will explore a strange countryside, collect magical ingredients, brew sorcerous enchantments, and pass your twisted judgment upon a capricious cast of characters and creatures. The goat and the writing are fantastic. This is a great little cozy spooky game with tons of things to collect and craft. This game is very addicting and easy to get lost in. I needed only a couple minutes of footage and ended up with a half hour of footage before I had to force myself to stop, since I have other games I need to check out as well. I couldn't recommend this one enough for anyone that wants a cozy, spooky game with fall colors everywhere. It's such a beautiful game for this time of year. Ninth Dawn 3: Shadow of Earthfall is an open-world top-down action RPG. The story is simple enough. You catch rumors of an untrustworthy king as monsters threaten the lands of Cadeltia. Journey through ancient fortresses, dark dungeons, and reach Lorwick Castle to uncover the truth. This game is definitely one of those that is easy to play but hard to master. There's so many things to learn and make in this game. It's such a shame that this series isn't more well known. I still need to check out the first two games, but unfortunately they don't have a physical release yet, as far as I know. The controls are a bit unique, but definitely not bad. They actually work well. I just can't remember any game I've played with similar controls for this style of game. It basically plays like a twin-stick shooter, but as an action RPG. You move with the left, and the right stick attacks everything in whatever direction you point it in. You can collect all kinds of different pets and people, which usually turn into dead pets and people if you play as good as I do. Thankfully, they are easy to get revived. Your character is so popular in this game that anytime I leave civilization, I get hundreds of random creatures following me and trying to hug me extremely hard. Like any good RPG, this one does have a card game. You can play with random NPCs. The dungeons are a ton of fun to explore since there is a percentage marker to watch go up as you explore the dungeon. It feels great to see it at 100%. However, when you have one stuck at 97% for a while and cannot find the other 3%, it might get a bit frustrating. I will find that 3% one day. This is another one that is hard to stop playing once started. I had to force myself to quit again. Salt and Sanctuary is a great game for any and all masochists out there who enjoy getting destroyed constantly. It combines the challenging combat of the Dark Souls series with the exploration of a Metroidvania-style world. Players control a shipwrecked sailor on a mysterious island, exploring a vast, interconnected world filled with traps, enemies, and bosses while developing their character through a deep RPG system. Thankfully, this game has many different ways you can do practically everything. For anyone who struggles with difficult games, it is still very beatable. I should know. I'm awful at these things, but even I beat this game. I did have to use a mage build and just keep my distance from everything, but it worked. I do plan to go back through and try beating it with a melee build one day, since the gameplay is just so much fun, and I've been craving some good pain anyways, so might as well do another playthrough soon. Smoke and Sacrifice is an open-world, narrative-driven RPG, where exploiting living ecosystems is the key to your survival. Craft, fight, and explore the huge open world in this beautiful, hand-painted, gothic adventure where every character has their tale to tell. Sachi's home is the one tiny patch of fertile land which remains in an icy wasteland of a world. Her farming community thrives thanks to the devotion to the blazing sun tree, which replaces the lost light of the failed sun. After sacrificing her firstborn child to the sun tree, Sachi discovers a darker secret beneath the aura of priestly benevolence. Will she discover the truth hidden in the secret underground, or perish in its swirling, deadly smoke? With the odds stacked against her, strange creatures challenging her every step, and the ever-looming smoke waiting to steal life and memory, will Sachi ever discover the truth of what happened to her son? Unfortunately, in my case, no, she will not find out the truth yet. I still need to beat this one, but I've enjoyed what I have played so far. It is just very difficult, and I keep getting distracted by more things. I will beat this one day. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is a Castlevania spiritual successor in the style of the 8-bit games. There was once a man who had been given the moon's curse by demons. That man was Zangetsu, wrapped in crimson garb with eyes like fire. He relentlessly pursued the demons who cursed him. As he journeyed from one pit of darkness to another, he would stop at nothing until he struck down every last demon in his path. One night he sensed the looming presence of a great demon. He swore to eradicate all demons, no matter how much of a threat they posed. This is a great game for any Classicvania fan. It has more similar with Dracula's Curse than it does with the first two games. It has the ability to meet and use multiple characters and also has a few different directions you can take, similar to the Metroidvania games. Metroid Dread continues the story of bounty hunter Samus Aran as she investigates a mysterious transmission on the planet CDR, only to find herself hunted by deadly robots called Emmy. The game features 2D side-scrolling gameplay, exploration, and a focus on acquiring new abilities to progress, with a significant emphasis on stealth and evading the Emmy robots. The Emmy robots are by far my least favorite part of this game. I get why some people like them, but to me they just make me very stressed out, and I don't really like being more stressed while trying to enjoy my hobby. Other than that, this game is incredible. The controls are extremely quick and responsive. This handles better than almost any other Metroidvania game I've ever played. Darkest Dungeon is a challenging gothic roguelike RPG where players manage a roster of flawed heroes to explore dungeons and fight monsters. The game focuses on the psychological stress of adventuring, with heroes battling not only enemies, but also stress, disease, and famine. Key features include a strategic turn-based combat system, permadeath for heroes, and a focus on the emotional toll of the quest. You get an entire hub world-like thing, where you can buy items, upgrade things and people, and you can heal people with stress and other illnesses. While in the dungeon, you go down hallways where you can find all kinds of new items, enemies, and traps. You can even find rooms, which will lead to treasure, enemies, and even more hallways. When fighting the beautiful, grotesque enemies in this game, you can do all kinds of fun things, like attack the corpse of your enemies until they die a second time. If you love being stressed out while having heart attacks and killing dead things, then this game is for you. Made in Abyss is an adorable survival horror game. Don't let the art style fool you. For anyone who has seen the anime, you already know. This game is the most unique anime-based game I've ever played. I'm so used to them being either fighting games or JRPGs or something like that, but this one is very close to an actual survival horror dungeon crawler type of game. It has two modes, Hello Abyss and Deep in Abyss. Hello Abyss is a short 5-ish hour introduction to the game and anime story where you get to meet the characters from the actual anime and all that good stuff, while Deep in Abyss is the real part of the game. You play as a new character, not from the anime, along with a whole new story as well. I haven't made it far in this mode yet, but I plan to soon. Also, if you like anime and have not seen the anime, you definitely should. It is great so far. Cult of the Lamb is an action-adventure game where players control a possessed lamb who must build a cult to repay a debt to a mysterious stranger. The gameplay blends roguelike dungeon crawling with a cult management simulation, where you explore, fight enemies, and gather resources to build and manage your followers. This game has practically anything and everything you have ever wanted in a game. You can even pick up other people's shit. It's incredible. You can also sacrifice people and force people to worship you. It has so many things you can build and upgrade, and every run in the dungeon is different. The art style is perfect for this time of year, and the gameplay is extremely addicting. They have also been releasing DLC for it, and it also has 2-player co-ops, so you can pick up crap with a friend. Death's Door is an action-adventure game where you play as a crow who reaps souls. The game features a 3D isometric perspective, fast-paced combat, and a world filled with secrets and charmingly eccentric characters. Players use melee weapons, arrows, and magic to defeat enemies and bosses in a quest to retrieve a stolen soul and uncover a dark mystery. The game gives off spooky Zelda vibes. The exploration and puzzles are very Zelda-like. The movement is extremely smooth and responsive. It is one of the best feeling games I've played and definitely not talked about enough. Sturmfront: The Mutant War Ubel Edition is a twin-stick shooter with a gross art style, perfect for this time of year. It is a retro-style arcade game where players control a cyborg named Siegfried to fight mutants in a post-apocalyptic world. The game features heavy metal and electronic music and includes hidden souls to collect to uncover the story. It is extremely challenging, and I barely ever make it past the first stage, but it is a ton of fun. You get to kill and burn so many disgusting mutants. I highly recommend it for anyone who needs some pain. Mary Skelter 2 is a first-person dungeon-crawling RPG that includes a remake of the original Mary Skelter Nightmares. Players navigate a living prison, battling monstrous nightmares in turn-based combat, while managing a blood-fueled transformation system. The game features customizable characters called Blood Maidens, deep party customization, and a story-heavy visual novel component. I am very new to first-person dungeon crawlers, and this has been my favorite so far, mainly when it comes to being beginner-friendly. It is very lengthy and probably will be grinding near the end like most of these games are, but for now, it hasn't been too difficult. I just have to remember to save more often. I tend to forget since you can save anywhere, and I never see save points to remind me. It is easy to go from full health to 0 in the matter of one battle. if you aren't careful. Speaking of that, it has auto battle, so I am never careful and I always use that. Now here is a first-person dungeon crawler that is the complete opposite of beginner-friendly, and I may never beat this one, but I had to mention it anyway. Labyrinth of Zangetsu is an extremely challenging, beautiful, first-person dungeon crawler with a black and white aesthetic, inspired by traditional Japanese art and folklore. By far my favorite thing about this game. Players assemble and customize a team of warriors to explore labyrinths, fight Japanese folklore-inspired ink beasts, and uncover the story of a world corrupted by the Ink of Ruin. And with that, we have a random assortment of games from all kinds of different genres, all with spooky vibes to them in some way. Leave any spooky suggestions you have down below, and until next time, bye.